Hello friends, welcome to my another video about JavaScript. This is JavaScript part 1. Here we have 5 points that I'm going to discuss with you and try to show you what it means, how to use it, and this could be helpful for your work related activity or even for your interview. So please use it accordingly, and when I am done, please ask me any questions if you have under the link or under the comment section, and I'll be happy to help you. So let's get started. So first we will go to data types. So basically um, we should know the idea we should have the idea of data types for any programming or scripting languages. So is with JavaScript. So I'm going to fire up Google Chrome in incognito, and then I'm going to show these points in the console window. So let me fire up my Google Chrome in incognito. So here it is, and I'm going to do F12. So just want to show something here. I think it's pretty small, so trying to make a little bit bigger. So yeah, I think this should be fine. And now let's move on to our point number 1, data types, right? So how many types of data types are there in JavaScript? Basically we have 5. So let's start with something called string. So in order to find out the data type, we can use something like type of keyword, right? In JavaScript we have this type of, and then let's start with something called number. So if you see here, we have a data type called number. So basically that's how we can find out what type of data is a value. So we use type of, and then we pass whatever we want to find out. So if we found out that one is a number, let's say ABC, DEF, something like this. What is this? This is string, obviously, right? And then now the third one is something called true or false. Let's say false. It's boolean, so that's number 3. And then something called object. So fourth one is object. So in order to do that, let me first create an object, right? So let me first declare something. So person here. So here what I did here was just declared. So var person is something I declared. So now we have declared a person object, but have we defined it? Have we assigned some value? No, right? So let's assign something, and then now once we assign something, it will be not undefined, it will be defined. So person has a name, his name is John, and his age is 50, something like this. Now we don't see person as undefined anymore. So person is declared and defined. So and now if I do type of person, what I should get back? Can you guess? It's going to be object. Yeah. So this person is now an object, and if you want to find out the data inside this object, so we just need to do person dot and whatever attributes, age or name, something like this, right? It's clear, it's straight. So that's how we can find out the data type. And the last one is called undefined. So let's say something like var animal. So we have declared here, right? So now here you can already see it is saying me that it is undefined, and now that type of animal is going to give me undefined. So this is the fifth one. So those are the 5 types of data types. So it's pretty straightforward. So 5 types of data types, and then let me clear this one, Control L, and let's move on to the second one. So is nan. So what is nan? Is nan is a function which says is not a number. So that's a function which figures out, which tries to find out if something provided as an argument is a number or not. So let's say I'm passing hello. Is this a number? No, right? That's why it returns me true. But if I do, let's say 100, is this a number? For sure, yeah, it should return false. That's the thing. That's a function we can check if something passed is number or not. Then we can use is nan as a function. So yeah, that's point number 2. Let's talk about point number 3. So in JavaScript, no, not in JavaScript, in math. So what is an infinity, right? So infinity is some number divided by zeros. Let's say 100, and there is a denominator. Now it's infinity. That's how we know it's an infinity, or that's how we find out dividing by zero gives us infinity. In JavaScript, let's say we have a negative number up and then divide by zero. Now we get a negative infinity. So that's what is negative infinity in JavaScript. So it's infinity but negative because we have something negative on the numerator, and denominator is zero. So it's a negative number divided by zero in JavaScript is negative infinity. So let me clear this one as well. So the next concept is undeclared and undefined, which I already showed you. So animal was declared but undefined, right? So something, if we have declared, so it is declared, but if we have no knowledge about anything which we want to call or we want to access, then that's undeclared. So for example, if I say place, is that something we have in context? No, right? Because that's not been created before, not assigned before, so it is going to be undeclared. But animal is declared already, so the only problem with animal is it is not defined. So let's define it. Animal equals, let's say, name, type it's going to be dog. So dog is an animal, the type is dog. So animal dot, so let's say now we have declared and defined the type. So animal dot type gives me dog, right? So that's how we access the attribute values. So that is about the declared and undeclared and undefined. And then moving on to the next point is global variable. So let me clear this. So before knowing about the global and the local variable, we should know about scopes. So what is a scope? Let's say we have a function. So I create a function, calculate sum, I pass a, I pass b, and then we're going to do var sum equals a plus b, and then return sum, right? So I have created one function here. So what it does is gets two values, a and b, and it does the sum and returns the sum. So this var sum is local to only this function. It means we cannot, let's say if I want to do sum, can I do that? No, right? Because this is not defined. It's only inside that calculate sum. But I can do calculate because it's a function. So let's do something like this, 1 and 2. Now it's going to give me 3 because that's a sum. But if I do something like, let's say amount equals 100. So now I didn't type var in front of that, right? So I just did amount equals 100, and that's how it becomes global variable. So if you just want to make something which is global and accessible to everything inside a script, then you should write something like just use the name of the variable and assign some value, and that's how you create a global variable. Now it is available everywhere. So that's about the global variable, and this is something about the local variable and the scopes. I hope you understand these points. If you have any questions, just like I mentioned before, please comment on the comment section and I'll be happy to help you. I'll be back with another video soon, so please stay tuned and thank you for watching the video.